The predefined data types that are recognized by C# are actually built into the .NET framework. They include things like byte, Boolean, integer, and double. All of these simple data types are really aliases to the .NET framework system type. For example, an int, which is a C# data type, is really an alias to system.int32. Declaring data type variables requires the following syntax. If I declare an integer of a variable name called x, I've declared that variable on the stack. Now the next thing I can do is actually assign a value on a subsequent line. The other technique is to declare the variable and instantiate it on the same line. Either one of these approaches will work in C#. The other thing to take a look at is the declaration of a char. A char is one character. So for example, if I had a variable called C of type char, I would assign it this way. When you declare char variables and you assign a literal, that literal character has to be surrounded in single quotes. Next thing we'll take a look at is the declaration or example of a declaration of a Boolean. Boolean variables are declared with bool, and then the variable name, and then you can initialize it as either true or false. And you want to use true or false to initialize a Boolean data type. One thing to be aware of is some declarations, especially when you declare something and initialize it with a literal, sometimes you'll need literal suffixes. Let's take a look. If I declare a variable as decimal, and that variable name is m, and I declare it with this value, I'm going to get a compile error. And the reason why it won't run is because any literal decimal noted number is considered a double. So if we look at this example again, you're trying to pass a double literal to a decimal type. So what you'll want to do in this case is you'll want to use literal suffixes. And the suffix to convert this into a decimal is an m. So now what you're saying is a literal decimal is being assigned to m. You'll want to look out for those literal suffixes, and you can find more about that in your documentation.